Guys, we're back here on Public Sports Announcement. We're going to be talking NBA All-Star Weekend. I'm here with my guest, Sterling Bennett, host of Bush League Sports Radio. All right, Sterling, let's go ahead and kick it off. Friday night's action, the Rising Stars Challenge. What was your kind of takeaway from that?
I think my takeaway from that was that, although there is a lot of depth in the United States roster, you had Jaylen Brown, Jason Tatum, kind of a lot of those guys. But look at the world team. The world team did beat the USA 155 to 124, totally outplayed them. But I think we're looking at the future of the NBA could be through, non-American players. Joel Embiid, Lauri Markkanen, Bogdanovic, Buddy Hield as well. There's a lot of great players in this league that are not from American descent. And like you can look at Porzingis as well. I think Porzingis would have played in this game probably, or if not the All-Star game for sure. So I think, one thing I took away was that, does the game really matter? No, but I think the USA has more depth in who they have, kind of more noticeable faces. But I think this league is becoming more world-driven, more, I wouldn't say diversity, but, more kind of non-American player-driven. And I think we're going to see that continue in this upcoming draft as well.
And I think you make a good point with that because I think there's a stigma that goes around NBA about, European players or players across overseas that try to get drafted. Darko Milicic, remember that guy? A lot of players that have come overseas that, they're kind of turned out to be bust. So I think you make a good point is that the world is actually starting to, as a whole, it's becoming more respectable. And, maybe the gap between, the United States players and the world is starting to shrink a little bit. Maybe not as much as people think, but we are seeing some future stars in Joel Embiid, like you said, Joel Embiid, Buddy Hield, stuff like that. So that's a pretty good point you make. Moving on to Saturday's action, they had the skills challenge, 3-point contest, the slam dunk contest. I mean, from my perspective, then the skills challenge is kind of like the prelim. It's okay, it's nothing special.
I love the skills challenge.
Because Lauri Markkanen won it. Is that
he didn't win it, but that's my boy, dude. Lauri Markkanen is my
boy. Yeah. I get it. It was cool. I mean, it's kind of like I said, it's a prelim, but you have the 3-point contest, the dunk contest. What were your thoughts on that?
I think I like the old way how they did the skills challenge of guys going one by one and kind of you're only focused on one player. But now it's like who can finish first, and Joel Embiid cheated in one of his, and he still had the tag on his shirt or his jersey in the back. So it did have some memorable moments. But I think I like how they used to do it, and I know it used to be kind of only point guards would go there. Like I know one year was Deron Williams, Steve Nash, some of those guys who were smaller guards who were kind of you would think of they're the guys who had the skills, and now it's like Joel Embiid's in it, Lauri Markkanen's in it, shooting guards, small forwards, like bigger guys. And I think it's good because it kind of includes every single person and shows that these big guys do have the skills to do everything that are all around players. But skills challenge it's kind of boring to be honest, but I do appreciate what they were going for. But let's talk about this boring slam dunk contest.
Whoa, hold on. Before we get into the slam dunk contest, let's talk about the 3-point contest, which I think disappointed more than the slam dunk contest for me.
Really?
I mean, the first round, no player scored 20 points in the first round.
Yeah.
Not one player scored 20 points. And you had Klay Thompson, you had Eric Gordon, you had, Devin Booker.
Paul George,
Paul George, let's not even talk about that one.
Bricks?
It was Brick City that entire contest. I mean, Kyle Lowry, really, tanked too. I mean, that to me, I'm just so used to Ray Allen, Reggie Miller. You're used to these guys that are just draining 3 after 3 after 3. Some of the best 3-point shooters to ever play the game. And this competition just seemed like it was just flat.
Yeah, this could be a reliant on stars and not the elite 3-point shooter anymore. I think when we look at Ray Allen, Reggie Miller, or even, Kyle Korver earlier on in his career, like these guys, 3-point shots really wasn't, teams weren't hitting 20 a night, 10 a night. It was more of like, that guy's a 3-point specialist.
Mm-hmm.
That's the guy we're going to bring in the game when we're down by 2 and need a 3-pointer to win a game or tie a game. But now it's like everybody can shoot threes. And that's not a knock on the league now. It's just what it is. But,
it's just become saturated, I think, with 3-point shooters.
So I think, the spectacle we got to see when Ray Allen hits 26 3-pointers, in a contest, or Reggie Miller is hitting 25, guys that were just above everybody else. So you have a guy hit 10, then Reggie Miller or Allen come in and hit 20 more than he did. And so I think it's just, like I said, a saturation. We're used to a 3-point shot now. And personally, I think instead of the 3-point shot, go to a 4-point shot contest. make it further, make it harder to hit, and don't change it.
Are you sure about that?
Don't change the rules in the league.
Like they can't even hit the 3-point shot. We're gonna try a 4-point shot now.
Yes, but I think it'll add kind of next flair. We already changed some rules here with the All-Star game itself. Why not change a little more? Why not make it more exciting?
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know what Paul George was shooting at last night, but it wasn't the basket.
Yeah,
so,
it was bad.
And Devin Booker, congratulations on winning, but I just don't see any point to it. I'm like, okay, I see a 3-point shot every night. I don't want to see guys play shoot around. I want to see them try something we don't see every day.
I mean, I think it's like I said. The 3-point contest for me was one of my favorite contests, of all time. Before, when I was younger, and it's just for me, there was no consistency in this one. It was like when you see someone's rattling 8 straight threes, it's like, there he goes again. He hits it again. Like it gets kind of exciting at that point. But it was like this 3-point contest. You saw 2 made, 2 missed. 2 made, 2 missed. And it was like there was no rhythm to it. And it just felt kind of flat. I mean, give respect to Devin Booker. He did win it. In that last round, he was insane. I think it was a record 28 points.
Yeah.
That was a record, right? 3-point contest, which I'll give him credit for that. That was a great round. But overall, the event really seemed just kind of flat. But let's move on to the slam dunk contest, the main event of the evening, which we consider. You said it was boring. I mean, I wouldn't say it was amazing, but to say it's boring, what made it so boring for you?
I do like that we're adding in a lot of younger players. Donovan Mitchell, Dennis Smith Jr., they were there. But I want to see them go against an older veteran guy. Like, imagine seeing them two face LeBron. It's probably not going to happen, but or seeing them face, let's kind of throw it back a couple years ago, maybe seeing some young guys face Kobe or Dwight Howard in their prime. Like, that's why Nate Robinson and Dwight Howard's contest is held so highly, because it's David and Goliath. Is the short guy going to beat the big guy? There should be some storytelling. I know it's hard to do that in a competition like this because everyone seems to be friends now. Social media. I don't want to bring in a wrestling term, but kind of kayfabe is kind of dead. Like there is no, I dislike this guy on and off the court. We're going to be villains on the court, but I'm going to be friends with them off the court. It's no longer a, storytelling driven, part of the game anymore. And so, don't get me wrong, the dunks were good. Donovan Mitchell, Dennis Smith Jr., they definitely have, their flashing moments. Donovan Mitchell with, the Vince Carter references. Larry Nance kind of looking back at his father and kind of, showing some respect to him, which was really cool. And Lance being back in LA, but I think I don't want to see 4 young guys go at it. Mm-hmm. I want to see, a couple young guys face the older guys, like kind of not a passing of the torch, but more of a, let's see what these young guys can do. We'll see how more athletic the next generation is compared to the older guys. And I think when you have that, it's like, yeah, these dunks were good, but when watching last night, I was like, cool. Like, that's great. But I mean, what is the point?
You make a good point about the lack of stars in the NBA contest. I mean, LeBron James has for years teased about being in it, and he has never been in it. Blake Griffin, when he was in it, he kind of stole the show. When he won the slam dunk contest,
jumped over the front of the key and the whole thing. Let's get that right first.
Yeah, I mean, it was a cool antic. It was nice antics. It was, like you said, it was nothing crazy. But I know what you mean. The lack of star-driven talent in the slam dunk contest kind of hurts it. But I want to make a point about that, because when Zach LaVine and Aaron Gordon were in it, not star-driven talents. There are no household names in the NBA, but they stole the show when they were it, because that was one of the best slam dunk contests I've ever seen, because they stole the show. For me, it's not so much the star, but what do you do? How creative are you out there? So when you throw a dunk down that makes me go, oh, that was pretty nice, then I'm going to show you respect no matter who you are. I understand the star-driven part, it does make a lot of sense, but at the same time, Zach LaVine and Aaron Gordon stole the show a couple years ago, and LaVine has been, he was a back-to-back champ. So from that perspective, I think it doesn't really matter who you are, but if you're willing to go out there and try something, creative and be pretty nice with it, I think this slam dunk contest, I think Donovan Mitchell had some pretty good dunks. He had the 360, kind of going the opposite way. Yeah. He had the Vince Carter, the Vince Carter S dunk. Larry Nance had like the double tap off the backboard. That was pretty nice. I mean, they had some pretty creative dunks in there. Like I said, it wasn't the greatest one I've seen, but it was okay. It wasn't anything like, it wasn't a yawn, but it was okay.
You have to give credit where credit's due, and I don't want to take away that these dunks are very hard to do. Like, I cannot go outside and do these dunks. Yeah. Like, Mitchell and Smith should have not have got 39 points on that dunk.
That was insane.
He made it. The other guy missed it. He had 31.
He actually went to Twitter and complained about it too, and
rightfully so.
Yeah, rightfully so.
And I liked it too because it shows he does care. He's like, I wasn't in the All-Star game, but I want to win what I'm taking part in, or I want to be judged fairly. And can we just question the judges? Like some of them
I don't-
had
I don't
no
like it.
right being up there.
Like DJ